Greetings and salutations, everybody, and welcome back to Tomes and Tales RPG. Dragons, zombies, gnolls, angry ex-father-in-laws, mate, and fey packs, we've got it all. The broken few are going through it right now. Coming off the back of a gnoll incursion, the party are being urged to track down the tribe's old village grounds and the goings-on out in the wilds. There's not much really to it as far as that little preamble ramble, so let's get straight into tonight's episode of Tomes and Tales. Ooh!
A story from Tomes and Tales RPG.
Also, with that tattoo, you could just get a pair of wings because Red Bull gives you wings.
Oh yeah.
I'll add it to the back of my head.
We'll make a custom magic item.
That wing tattoo. I have wings.
Potion of wings, man. I love that. Okay.
Can we leave that in?
It was fades in. Welcome back, if you didn't hear before, the Potion of Wingspan. There we go. Last we left the Broken Few, they had awoken on the midday following the Gnoll attack on Potts Hollow. The smell of burnt grass and homes still on the air. The party went about helping the village take stock and helping the only ways they knew how. Zeph and Petunia headed to the apothecary, while Voyage and Hugle went to the tribe's holdings and helped prepare the dead for burial. Zero picked up her new duds and had a run-in with Oak Branch, seeking an audience with his daughter. The audience was made at the door of the apothecary, where Petunia stood up to her father for perhaps maybe the first time in a long time, and who just then proceeded to grumble audibly and then leave. The party eventually reconnected with Dushka, who filled them in on the total losses and what she was asking them to do. Go back to their old village grounds, investigate and kill any of their kinsmen who had turned to undeath. Now, during this interaction, the Wanderer made himself known to everybody, and thus seeds of distrust were sown into the group about Zero's allegiance to the Wanderer himself.
My allegiance to the flag.
I have the best pact.
No one does packs like me.
No one does pacts like me. I crawl around on the
The Wanderer slowly transforming.
Don't make him orange, please! Don't give him a bad toupee, please!
China.
That's why he wears the hat.
There we
Next time you
go.
see him, he's eating a bag of twisties. Everywhere.
And we also, the party also learned that Pylieros, the blood moon, was due to begin its week-long arc across the sky. Before we ended last game, Hugle walked into the garden to attempt to communicate with the Queen of Corvus to try and glean more answers, and seemingly to no avail, until he turned to leave. And that's where we return. So we are technically in the evening of the same day. It was like, I believe everyone had gone back to the house to get ready to sleep, and then Hugo, you had gone to communicate with the Queen. What was the question that you asked when we left off last?
So, I just have to go re-listen to it. Essentially, there's a little bit of rambling, but he kind of asked, is what we're doing right now, is the moon going to really negatively affect what we're going into? So, I think the question was, is this hopeless? Will the blood moon produce more danger for us going up against this dragon?
Yep, okay. The sudden turnaround from when you switch direction and the white mask of the Queen of Corvus is there in front of you. It's almost like the second you turn around, there's a seamless integration where all of a sudden you can feel yourself encapsulated by the gigantic raven's wings that sprout from her back. And you can feel that inside this little dome where you are, time passes normally, but you also know that it's going to be an instant thing where you're just basically getting this information downloaded straight away. And there's that husked, sepulchral kind of sound behind a mask, when someone speaks behind an iron mask. The red moon presents a required balance. When the world you know as Miros was formed, the 3 moons were homed within its orbit. Aristaeros, the left hand of the gods, the white moon, is the biggest of the 3, the most prominent. The second is Dexisteros, which is the right hand of the gods, otherwise known as the blue moon, which you all know above the table. One gives off a white glow, one gives off a slightly blue glow. That's why it makes the clouds those wacky kind of light up colours. Both the white and the blue moons are positive energies. Some pray to them, take their sightings between the clouds as good tidings, a sign that not everything needs to go bump in the night. The blood moon, Pyleros, this moon was always there, always being an anomaly. Once, every 137 years, it arcs high into the sky for a week, and not a day longer. And while it is high in the sky, great workings of magic are possible. I should know. Pyleros presents unbridled nature of primal magics. While it is high in the sky, the very magical fabric of the world is vibrating and shaking at frequencies previously unseen. Magic is stronger, wilder, and this leads to many acts or performances of great power. Your village itself, in ages long past, was formed in the glow of the red moon, as your village's ancestors crossed over from the Fae to Miros Firma. The beast that you find yourself moving towards, however, I cannot see exactly where it rests upon the scales of balance. I do not know how much magic informs its actions, changes it to what it is. It is definitely magical, but I cannot be sure where it rests. But make no mistake, regardless of this known unknown, it must be felled.
I am your servant, my queen.
The head within the wings bows, and then the wings let go. You watch the leaves and the dust settle as basically for all intents and purposes, the time stop lifts, and you are back in the real world.
Fuck. And just wanders back to the group.
That is correct.
Fucking
As you wander back, what are the rest of us doing? Because I believe you still weren't back at the house yet, but the Petunia, Zeph, Zero, and the kids are there, I believe. So who wants to do what? I turned it over to you.
I'd probably just be waiting on one of the couches, just sitting by the fire with Pat, and just waiting on Hugle to come back so I can be like, what'd she say?
There's a moment where you're like Pat's kind of on the ground at your feet. You know the things where like dogs and cats will like just lay on your feet, and you're like, oh, like you've got your boots off and you're like just trying to like decompress after a long day, and Pat gets up, crawls up onto the couch and does what animals would do and just becomes a liquid in your lap. It's like, and you're just like, as you're like, all the oxygen in your body is forcefully injected.
A big dog that still think that baby.
Yeah, big boy. He's a big boy.
Give the scritches.
I'll give it the good scratches.
What about everyone else?
I will just sit on couch and wait for the elusive sun to return.
Pat crawls across you to get to Zeph, so you're just like,
After like Pat moves, she definitely like.
it's just feathers, and it's the little baby, it's like the little teenage molting ones, so they're like really puffy.
Or she definitely like is like.
And on your black duds, it just stands out so hard.
Just like is in defeat because she doesn't want to move right now. She's just gonna accept it. They're getting washed later on though.
Just
I feel like you'd have a lint roller somewhere, right?
Oh yeah, just like pulls the first layer off and just starts doing these ones.
Don't worry about your head. Ooh, get me one.
Just like.
Yeah, they're cute. What about Petunia?
Petunia's just nervously pacing in the kitchen. Stopping every now and then to like reshuffle the jars that were already straightened, and then like, re-straighten them out, and then go back to just pacing.
Yeah, Mateo walks in to like get a snack from like the cabinet and is watching you pace the same thing. He's like, "You'll burn through the floor. You keep doing that."
Haven't done it yet.
Little folk, little feet. I get it. And goes back to his room.
Ouch!
Yeah, you just hear Matroya just, what the fuck? Just like slap him up the
Is that
head.
fucking audio where it's like behind the scenes, there's like a.
It's like, ow! What about our green boy?
So once he finally got over his own burnt trail across the back and forth, what are you touching? Okay. Just don't wipe your bad rolls on it, please.
Touch the beacon.
There's some pretty dice around the table there.
A new hand touches the beacon. I don't want to play a red
You're queer now, Vaughn.
Someone tell Steve.
She already was, now she got that double queer.
You can stat queer in D&D.
Level 2.
Inspiration.
Your proficiency bonus
Unlocks
is
feet,
plus
death
10.
drop.
Anyway, what's our green boy doing after he's gotten over his like little meltdown?
He's still got a lot to think about. So, because he's strategically paced his way out of town, he's just like looked to the nearest Goliath, orc, or halfling, gone, I'm on watch here for the night, and points up the closest tree and just scales the tree.
Yeah, it's I think most of the halflings would probably be indoors by this point, but definitely in wake of the Knoll incursion, you definitely see more of like a like the orc Goliath, like the more barbarian types that are like ready to blue. They're doing like way more rotations, and you just point to like this one, you know, like teased mohawk, covered in tattoos, like all Kratos, like all abs, huge pecs, one big shoulder guard. You're just like, I'm going up here. He goes, cool. Have fun with it.
And that's what he does. He just sets himself up on a nice sturdy branch. Dog, again, nowhere in sight. Dog's not been summoned. He's been recalled.
Yeah.
And he's just... You could probably still hear the cogs turning from the house. Yeah, like... yeah. There is... I wrote it very well in my notes. It was... Outside of town, he's currently dealing with the stress of finding out two people he respects so dearly are of a group of creatures that he despises so greatly. The internal turmoil is completely consuming and distracting.
Be gone.
Bink.
Bink. Fair enough.
So yeah, that's what he's up to. Literally up.
Literally up.
Wow.
Hugle, you eventually find your way back into the home as you enter through, and everyone is here and collected except for Voyage.
When we all separated, I'm sending right to check on you earlier.
That is a great question.
I think you did.
Yes. Okay. Cool.
If the spell slot's gone, then probably.
Yeah. There's lots of spell slots going.
You called him.
Clerics,
He's like,
man.
"Are you okay?" And he's like, yeah, I'm cool. Don't come find me for a little
That's
while.
what I thought. Yeah. Cool.
I'm fine, but leave me alone. I'm blue.
It's green.
If I were green, I would die.
Well, you is green and you might die.
Hugo will just walk in, look at everybody, walk to the kitchen, and get one of the jasmine teas. Walk back out. Well, I guess we're fighting an undead dragon.
That noise echoes, reverberates through the town. like old man Jenkins opens his window. Well,
She's giving away our location again.
I got a little bit more info on this whole blood moon thing. We've basically got a week where primordial magics are going to be all kinds of fucking up and down. Apparently the village was formed during one of these things.
You know what? I think I believe that.
Like there was a big poof of magic and we all came over from the Fae and that's where Pot's Hollow began. I knew we were linked, but
That's kind of cool.
yeah. So it's kind of our anniversary for the town, I guess. I wonder if anyone even knows that here. But yes, either way, we're up against a dragon. And she didn't really know too much about it. Seems to be the opposite of her purview, being undead and all. But it's my task to fight this. I know it seems to be on the agenda for our green friend, wherever the fuck he's ended up. So that's my journey now.
It's our journey, though, isn't it? Of course, we are going to help you.
I'll do my best to keep you alive.
Oh, thank you!
Hey, I've done pretty well so far.
Yes, well, not against dragon, no.
No.
How does one kill an undead dragon?
You can make an Arcana roll for me. Yeah, just make an Arcana check for me. And you know what? Because it's undead, do it with advantage.
Ooh, well, you got a 15 to start.
Oh, good. Big money. Big money.
And an 11.
The secret is letting someone else do it. That's how you kill it.
And Arcana is plus 0, so 15.
15. I think 15 is good enough for you specifically. Undeath itself is a mockery of life. There is a multitude of ways that undeath can be brought. Obviously, those vaguely of like spellcasters that are schooled in the art of necromancy that can be a thing, and it's not inherently illegal. To quote Brennan Lee Mulligan, undead's not really illegal. It's just gauche. It's not illegal to do it, you know what I mean? You probably would have a bit of a strife with the people whose family you just resurrected, but that's besides the point. But also, in certain circumstances, undeath can stem from great magical imbalance, which a lot of people deem to be the correct theory as to why so many undead come out of the Deadlands. Because no one really knows what's inside there. The fog that permeates it is magical. You can't see through it without magical aid, and 9 times out of 10 it's like artifact level relics that do that. But undeath, it's all the same. Once something reconstitutes into life, it can be felled again. And then someone would have to resummon it again, or something would have to resummon it again. So it can be done.
Yeah.
But on a dragon? Damn!
Like, killing it would basically be like killing a living dragon. This one's just died once before. Not that I really know too much about killing a living dragon.
It's very comforting.
I heard your fingers flex.
Well, maybe Voyage can talk to that bow of his again. He's a bit more linked to dragons than me. The undead side, like, look, I've got a few things that might help us. Like, we might have a few advantages against it being undead versus a living dragon, but those big scaly things are not within my purview as such. Maybe you could talk to your son back home and he could read up at the library.
I don't have the stone. But it's not a bad idea. I could ask, on top of the several other things I have asked, but I feel like this one is more pressing.
Yeah, well, look, I think it's 3 or 4 days to the village, and all signs point to flying giant zombie.
Can't we just ask your almighty god to just smite the dragon?
I kind of just did that.
And?
She's sending me.
Oh, fantastic!
I'll get... I don't know if you would specifically because you weren't as tutored. Both of you make history checks for me. With advantage, we'll say, because you're near one another.
Oh, that's rough.
Oh, nat 20.
There you go.
Hey!
And a 2, so I'll go with the 20.
And 13.
I wouldn't have even bothered rolling again.
I would think... So, you scour anything you've read about, like, divinity and their interactions, and I would think too many of the texts here in Potts Hollow don't really cover that. It's more so a lot of verbiage about, this is why we pray to the matron of the wild, this is why we do this. God is great, and anything else is wrong. Like, it's kind of that shit, right?
There's a lot of that in your
It's-
dad's library, I think.
It's a Bible, not a manual.
Exactly. More like guidelines than fucking a rule set. This is something that came to your knowledge when you spent those years at the Deadlands with the Hermit, who you're unsure is even there anymore. I think we flash back to a conversation where you, maybe in your younger years, your formative years, you asked him, well, why, if the gods know that this is happening, why don't they just come down and fix it? And the Hermit went on this long, like, basically in ages past, like ages to the point where it's like we still have documentation that it happened, but it's so in the past now that people are unsure like when exactly it happened. It's kind of like some written down, some oracular. There was a point in Miros' existence where the gods freely roamed on the face of the planet. Like, their followers could go to temples and pray and summon them there in their physical manifestations. Sometimes they would be at equal height. Sometimes people would look upon them and they would be as tall as mountains. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the way they're formless and ageless. So it's like this really wibbly wobbly thing. And at some point, there was an expansive disagreement between what we now call the favored and the unfavored gods. Worship of either or is not frowned upon. You know, some people will be like, oh, you worship the devil? Fuck you, dog. But it's free game. But they basically had a huge disagreement, and it came to blows where for a couple of decades upon the face of Miros, they were like attempting to smite each other, but the problem is gods can't kill gods because they are unkillable. So, like, they're infallible's not the word, but they are truly immortal. They can't be killed. They're ideals as much as they are like infinite power. And eventually, it looked like it was never going to stop. So the favored gods basically chokehold their siblings and threw themselves into the void and sealed it away behind a thing called the Divinity Seal, which means their what's the word? Influence. Their influence still exists, but they cannot manifest on this plane anymore. So they basically exist behind like the veil, which is why clerics get their powers. The matron of the wilds can bless landscapes, all that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? Like there was a story where Carathian, which is the biggest mountain in Velikronos, they call it the Horn of the Gods because it's so large that it permeates the clouds. I believe the name they have for him was the Great Destroyer. The Great Destroyer impaled the matron of the wilds on it, and her blood that spilled forth is what soaked Velikronos, which is why the entire nation's covered in trees. No matter how many you fell, new ones grow at thrice the rate, which is why lumber is such a huge export for them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's heaps of shit that just happens in the world now as direct causality of that battle, that fight.
Now imagine all of that in an Irish accent.
Oh, toy, they fought each other and now they're locked behind a door.
But yeah, Hugle essentially will just go into the tirade of what he was told by the Hermit back in the day and explain to everyone that's his understanding of how
Can't
gods
your
work.
God just be like, you are healed, I have healed you. from behind the veil. Here is the magical answer to how you kill the dragon, and here's a powerful boon where you can one-shot the dragon.
There wouldn't be much of a veil then, would there?
No, I think we'd have a very different situation here, because then the unfavored could do the same for the other side, and then we'd be kind of just back at a stalemate of mutually assured destruction kind of situation there.
Also
Hell
very
yeah.
useless.
I love Megadeth.
It'd be too easy
Should we
to
go to the
do
throne?
that.
I think she'll have some answers.
Can never hurt. But
Before you do that, I'd like you to make an insight check for me real quick, because you touched on something that I don't want.
15 plus.
You've got decent insight, don't you?
Yeah. Insight
Yep.
plus 7.
You think back on the conversation after enlightening your party about what the hermit told you, this and that. You think back on the conversation with the Queen of Corvus that you just had, and in that interaction specifically, not once did she mention undeath relating directly to the dragon. Because she did once before, but in this one, she didn't. I think with that makes you think that there's a possibility. The gods are all powerful, but they're not all knowing.
Okay, I'll keep that one going. As for the crone, I don't think it'd hurt to talk to her, but she seemed to know I was coming.
She tends to know a lot of things, yeah.
She already gave me a boon. And with that, Hugle is going to disappear in a sudden puff of purple smoke and appear on the other side of the room.
What the fuck?
I got some new skills.
What the fuck?
I can only do it once. That was pretty fucking exhausting, but...
Well, no shit, you were there and you were fucking there. That was fucking exhausting.
So for those who know, that was Misty Step being used for the first time
Hell
since
yeah.
the new boon. Yeah, so,
Yeah, I don't think she's just gonna make us be able to just go, pfft. I was just hoping for some questions.
No, but what I'm saying is, she had spoken to my queen, and I think we're the solution here.
That's great. Doesn't hurt to get more information then.
Oh no, I definitely think we should head by there. I think Zeph might have some interesting questions for not a follower of the queen anyway. She's a bit different though. She definitely doesn't work like the church.
That's why she's so great though.
It was fun.
I've dealt with plenty of different people.
I love her.
You've been plenty of different people.
Yes, I have.
Well played. Well played, sir.
But I think my main concern stems from the fact that I've only ever killed humanoids. So I don't know how my skills will be able to assist, I guess, in this. Unless there's humanoid minions, possibly. But
Look,
when
we
it
know
comes
there are
to a
gonna be
dragon...
plenty of undead in that village.
Yeah.
If there's enough corruption in the magical realm right now that is causing a dragon to rise, we're gonna see more weird fucking things out there than any of us can imagine. And to be honest, it's kind of a mess that we're approaching it, but if this is coming this far south already, it's only a matter of time before this takes the continent. And I know the next week is going to be particularly hectic, but maybe that could give us some boons as well. Magic is up and down. Maybe our side will be up and theirs will be down.
I think you get the wanderer in the back of your head in this moment, Zero. He's like,
You know what? The short one's right. You can do some pretty wild shit when that moon's out. I would know.
What if we are the ones that are down now, and we, I don't know, fucking die?
Well, you can't die. I need you to do some things for me. So stay alive, please.
Oh yes, let me just add that two things easily done. Don't die! Oh, look. Yeah, well, it's in the book now. It's in my list. I have to do it.
Good.
You are cheeky.
Stop. Flattery will get you nowhere.
Even though I know there's actually something there now,
she's
it's
here
still
again. It's
really
just-
weird watching her have this
We're
conversation
not
with
even
herself.
half of a
You
conversation.
see, like, waving her arm at
She goes bright red.
It's like, don't hit me, please.
I'm a little bit less concerned for her mental health now, but it's still really
Yes.
fucking weird.
I mean, now we know he's probably in that corner over there.
Well, I just kind of imagine he's any corner.
Just kinda
It's
corporeal?
really uncomfortable.
You glance to a window and you just see the two black eyes. and he goes back to you, he goes, I'm gonna have way too much fun with this.
Zeph's like, watch this, I'll really freak him out, and just stares at a corner. Because now you guys know that Zeph is also Fae, and so it's just like...
Roll deception.
I'm also gonna roll for deception not to laugh because I know
Yeah.
he's not fucking there.
No, you know what? That's a constitution saving
Yeah,
throw.
okay, Constitution.
What was it, insight?
Insight.
Oh, natural 20!
11
she's
for me.
22.
Cool as a cucumber. What did you roll, Mon?
5. So Zeph's like,
You know what I feel? You know what I feel like it is? Zeph can't control when they begin to laugh and like their ears start to change, like weird shit's happening.
You tried.
Like, that might have worked against your little siblings at home, but I grew up with siblings too,
are you scared
okay?
yet?
You're scared yet?
I think it's like that comfort thing of Zeph knows they can't deceive you that much because you know them so well already. And so it's like, just like, come on now, you're being fucking stupid. It's like, we know that he's not really there.
Do we?
Now, did you want to go see the crone tonight?
If possible, yeah.
Absolutely. It's still early enough you can do that. Absolutely. So if you both want to do that, you can. If you just want to go, it's up to you.
Midnight fortune reading?
I'm happy for whoever wants to come with me to visit her.
Like early evening.
Midnight fortune reading?
8 p.m. fortune.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone's welcome to come with me. I can go by myself, that's fine.
I'm always up for another visit to a fellow believer, and
I will.
you've got to see this shit. It's like her aesthetic kind of matches yours sometimes, and that, wherever the fuck he is, he's gonna love her too.
It sounds very
think he will.
titillating, but I will hang back. You all go, just in case he comes home.
Would you be alright with that?
Yes, I will take care of it. He might not even. I might sit here bold as shit.
Yeah, I'll take care of that. She's cleaning her gun.
There's a good chance she's gonna break into your dad's house again.
You know what, I'm not even going to put up a fuss this time. Shall we?
As we start heading out, I'll use another sending to message you and just, hey, don't know what you're up to. Here if you need to talk. We're heading to the Crones for a little bit more insight. I spoke to my god and shit's fucked.
Hugle, if you contact me one more time, I'm gonna wank during the next sending.
Wow.
What a threat! What a threat! Hugo's like, don't you threaten me with a good time?
That's got the same
sort of
energy.
from like walking around to just his face.
That's got the same energy as that old wolf meme where it's like if your parents walk in on you masturbating, look them in the eyes and aggressively finish.
Power play!
I'm gonna give myself inspiration.
That's disgusting.
You gotta treat yourself sometimes, come on.
And as they're walking out of the house, she'll call down the hallway, just let the kids know that they're going out. Like, the house is yours, we're back soon.
Mateo. Got it. Won't burn it down.
Good.
Zeph, were you going with them? Alright, cool. So we'll go with the Trouble Troika, because it doesn't seem like there's going to be a lot for you two specifically at this moment. You walk through to like the holdings of the tribe, entering up to like heading up and then eventually entering the faded tent of the crone. Your nostrils are met with like this smell of like freshly burnt incense. There's a soft layer of smoke that seems to have remained within the confines of the tent, adding a slight haze to your vision. And I guess that's probably what you can just see from the door. So if there's anything you want to say before entering, you can.
Really quickly, I forgot, Petunia wouldn't have grabbed a little jar of tea leaves off the bench as well.
Absolutely, you can do
Yeah,
that, for sure. And you guys, unless there's anything that wants to be said beforehand, you can enter straight away. Because she's pretty, you would know specifically, she doesn't give a flying fuck about what time of the day it is.
Shall we?
Okay.
Small people first.
Hugle sort of step forward and hold the tent back to like usher you in, because
God damn
to
it.
him it kind of feels like he's bringing you into the church a little bit.
You're being recruited.
Indoctrination!
I'm being pushed by little people.
Within the tent, the many pillows that line the floor are feeling inviting as the crone sits idle in a corner, fidgeting with a line of like prayer beads adorned with small skulls, bones, parking between her pointer finger and her thumb. And her head snaps up a fraction, like that minuscule, like for a second, as the curtain of the tent is drawn and you all enter. Oh, come on in, my dearies. Please. Take a seat. She doesn't get up to move. She stays in the corner with the prayer beads, but she lets you guys sit wherever you want.
Hello again.
Evening, Jacenka. I brought you some more teas. Splendor should be a little bit stronger than the last time.
Oh, good,
Should be exactly
good.
what you need.
I find myself struggling to get to sleep when I'm awake and my mind is busy. Thank you, dear. Just leave it with the kettle. I'll fumble my way over there at some point as her like glassy eyes kind of look around. What can I help you with, my dear night children?
Well, we've come to ask you some questions, if that's all right.
Of course, it's what I'm here for. What's the point in knowing everything if no one asks anymore?
About those moons. That red one's come back around.
Oh, the blood moon. The pesky thing it is.
Do you know anyone, or have you yourself lived through one of these?
Oh, I've never seen one myself. I'm old, but I'm not that old.
Of course.
My grandmother, she was a crone before me, you know. She spoke of the last blood moon before she passed, and the mantle of seer was passed down from her to my mother. The moon itself, it weakens the walls of the material. Magic becomes unruly, passionate, and destructive. If you are a spellcaster, you can cast spells that can become more potent. Those blessed with a sorceress lineage of the wild magics are at greater risk of explosive outbursts. But if you heal people, they feel more rejuvenated. But the magic works both ways. Spells and magics that harm can be more ruthless, and they can be more violent. You find she smiles and she stops fidgeting with the beads and like kind of wraps them around her hand. It is a river with no banks, no stones to guide it. The rain's bringing more water, and the channel cannot sustain the volume. Eventually there will be a spill, yes?
Of course.
I do not know much else, as I've yet to live through one. This one will be my first.
You know of the path that we're on towards that dragon thing.
A dangerous path indeed, my love.
It was already going to be quite a feat, I dare imagine. How should... Is there more caution we should take with this, specifically on the account of that moon?
What I know about dragons is they are innately magical of the sense that they've existed for a very long time, but everyone keeps talking about undeath, necromancy this, zombie that. Now you get bitten, flesh fall off. To me, it didn't feel like that. It's something different. But what would I know? I'm just an old witch, huh?
Different how, if I can ask?
Angry.
Corruption.
Yes, that would be the word. Dragons are not as plentiful as they were many years ago. They tend to keep to themselves now, sometimes adopting human forms, living amongst us. But that thing, it was like nothing pardon the expression, it's like nothing I'd ever seen before. I think upon your finding it, there will perhaps be more discoveries to be made. But that's just the opinion of an old hag.
There's one so wise that knows the area and its magics. Do you know of any local areas of particular magical relevance that could have something to do with this corruption?
Forgive the boldness of my statement, but if you tried that big evil swamp that no one can get in or out of, I think that would be a very good place to start.
That's what I'm thinking. But I spent a few years there and I had never heard of something like this. Like, that whole place has this weird, eerie, corruptive feel to it, but I'm unsure if this is that spreading or if this is something unique to itself.
She thinks for a minute and goes,
One common thing about dragons that I do remember from my mother and her mother is they like to collect things. Generally, whatever lands in their little caves and holes they fall into, they generally never get rid of it. They like to hang on to it. Sentimentality, hoarding, whatever you want to call it. I think if you can find where this beast is laying, you might find some more answers. So, don't die.
Was that burst?
this is a recurring theme, huh? Just don't suck, get good, gamer.
I think that's good advice.
I try to myself.
Anyone else?
Are you alluding to maybe a magical relic that it could have held on to, being the reason why it is the way that it is?
Relic? What's the word I'm thinking of? What word would she use for this? Mineral. Magic. Relic. Mineral. Maybe something undiscovered. It just doesn't seem to fit the formality of what I have seen in my 90 odd years on this plane.
Would you say that if someone was to go in there, they'd be able to feel the influence of said object?
I think if you were quick enough to get in and out, you would just see it. Dragons are not shy about putting their objects on all display.
We did come across some creatures corrupted by a particularly powerful mineral on our way here.
And I know how to deal with that particularly powerful mineral. I think I found my job.
There's a reason that we came together.
Sounds like a good place to start.
Fucking witchcraft.
Becky! She will give me the blue.
Do we have any more questions, or shall we let our host sleep for the night?
That's all my brain capacity can afford right now.
Excellent, because I'm going to have some of that nice tea and proceed to, as you kids say, clonk out.
Thank you for your time, Jasenka.
Thank you, my love. I will see you later, I'm sure. And she begins to hobble over to her little teapot and with her unsight begins to make a fresh cup of the tea.
I'll open the door for you guys to leave and then not follow for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
and go back to her, and I'll start to help with the tea. I have one more request, sister.
Oh. Fire away.
Do you happen to have any spare totems of the Queen around?
Darling,
like
have
this.
you looked around this place?
Something like this, and grabs a hand, puts my necklace into it for her to feel.
Pulls out the prayer beads and just grabs one of the little raven skulls and unceremoniously just goes, just breaks it and goes,
Like this.
That'll work perfectly, thank you.
Wonderful. It gives me an excuse to make them longer.
as she like puts them down to fix at a later point, and you now have this like perfectly cleaned, like bleached white, like raven skull.
Sweet.
There you go.
Sleep well.
Oh, I think I will. Your lady wife sure is good with these teas.
Call on me if you ever need anything. We'll
Oh,
stick together.
I'm sure I will. Thank you, my love. As you leave.
And you're all, you three are out in the, kind of like the breezeway of the tribe's area. Is there anything else you would like to do before retiring for the evening?
I'm definitely not messaging.
I would think from your perch,
Can I see it?
I think you would, yeah. I don't think I'd make you. I don't think you guys, unless you actively try, you probably wouldn't be able to see him anyway because he's in the treetops. But yeah, I think just for a moment you hear like soft chattering, and then you hear the tent, and you see them about maybe 100 feet, not even that, maybe like 50 feet away.
Just kind of leans. He looks. God fucking damn it. It's because Zeph's there. He's not approaching.
Bigot.
Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy.
How's that Avenue Q song go?
The internet is really great for porn.
No, the other one.
Schadenfreude.
No, the other one.
Just go through their entire discography.
Sorry, Kate. I masturbate.
You just put your finger there. Put your finger there.
If we
No.
haven't made it clear, this stream is not for children.
There's a lot of fucking.
It was meant to be the horror side, but it's kind of gone into
It's a
Dating sim.
Anyone who doesn't have it can take inspiration.
I got one.
Because I'm really, really vibing with how everyone's playing tonight.
We got any of the
Give me my
coins laying around?
inspiration
I don't know where
back.
they are. I think they're in the
I'm
box.
gonna go get some
I
coins.
have a coin.
Yay!
We can hear it
remember
too.
what
That,
song it
that
is.
thing's gonna receive the entire journey.
I got it!
Is there anything else Voyage is gonna do, or is he gonna stay in the tree?
I have a few other things I'd like to try and do.
Mm-hmm.
However, this is probably going to coincide with when these guys either step up to the crone or leave. That's up to your discretion.
I'm gonna say leave, because if you were gonna do it before they entered, I would have made you do it then. So
Cool.
we'll do it as they leave.
Because there's 3 things I wanted to attempt throughout the evening because
Okay.
he had no intention of coming home. And of these 3 things, might cause him to go home because of information.
I just want to double check. Sorry, this is going to be a really weird
Inspiration.
question. But is the mic okay facing away? Will that pick it up fine?
I'm looking at it.
Okay,
next to
good.
pick it
Okay,
up.
sorry.
Yeah, that's why I
I
keep
don't mean to be
looking over.
paranoid.
No, you're okay. As long as it's close to your face, it's generally
Okay.
pretty good.
Who needs a coin?
Oh yes, please.
Is that a blue one?
Give me the blue one.
I believe in Becky. She'll give me the blue.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's a lot of Raven Queen worshippers on this table.
Give me that one. It looks like it.
Good, she's the best.
For you.
You're biased. Shut up.
She is the best. I agree with you.
What's a guide to a non-believer?
She's the best
So,
for you.
what are you gonna do?
So the first one, I wanted to try communing with the bow again. However, I have a different strategy this time because in 2 birds, 1 stone. Yes. He also wants to try and get Solus's attention again. Because he can't contact Solus.
Most of us can contact him.
So, in Voyage's infinite wisdom, his infinite wisdom and his +0 intelligence,
Oh, he's hot and dumb.
He's got a +3 in wisdom, so infinite wisdom.
Wisdom and intelligence, two very different things.
I know. So he thinks if he just says his dad's name, says his dad's name, enough times his ears will burn and you'll know.
You got to talk shit about it and forget the ears to burn, right?
You know what I'm gonna do? Because I understand it's kind of like a weird feedback loop that you've got with your character because you're not a real spellcaster. By default, we're gonna roll. I'm gonna have you make using your wisdom. I'll let you use the wisdom if your wisdom, wherever your highest one is for mental stats. So charisma or wisdom. It's gonna be D's. It's gonna be. I'm gonna say you've got to clock. What's your plus to wisdom?
3. Because my thought process here is, if he does it enough times, while channeling radiant energy through his bow, because he knows his dad leans into the radiant magic.
You know what I'm gonna say? Okay, well I'll make you a deal because I love making deals. If you, being attuned to the bow and it being a magical item, if you want to expend some magical energy, you can, but for the entirety of the next day, you cannot add any of that magical damage to your bow. It has to be, for you to be able to do that, you need to lose something for a period of time. That means you don't have to roll for it, but you will get it, but that means no magical damage. You can still get dog stuff, but no additives from the bow.
Does that also mean I can't cast spells that affect the bow?
No, your range of spell casting is fine, but like where it's like, the bow
D6
does...
for elemental damage.
Yes, you lose that D6.
I bet.
You want to do that?
Yep.
Okay.
Because it's just for the day.
It's just, it's literally for the next day. So at dawn tomorrow, until dawn the day after that, you cannot add the D6 elemental damage.
Wouldn't it start 24 hours? Assuming we're at roughly 8 p.m. as what was agreed on.
A lot of the magical items always have like a dawn threshold. So I'll say basically for the rest of the night, you're probably not going to get into a combat and use the elemental damage. So we'll say from sunrise till sunset, or from now until 8 o'clock at night the next day.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh well, if you want to do it like that, that's
24 hours.
fine. But we'll see how we go. But if that's what you want to do, you can.
I'm gonna punch someone first thing tomorrow morning.
Before I go back.
Start a fight.
How's that die going, Seb?
You're
Let's not talk about my
That's what the cup holders are for. That's what the fucking coasters are for.
they're M&M coasters, they're not.
I'm doing my Tupperware.
So did you still want to commune with the bow, or are you just trying to contact Solace?
I'm doing both, because I also have a third thing I want to do.
What's the third thing?
Contact Val.
That can come at the end. Okay.
Of course.
So
That's why I said
roll weird bitch. Roll nature with the bow. I'm gonna set the DC higher because I believe the last time it was DC 20. I'm gonna set the DC at 22, but you get to roll with advantage because where you are. Is there any way you can make it with
I've got a
advantage?
+3. A 22.
19 or
So 19 or high, but you get advantage.
Fuck.
It's got to be
And you
it's
also
got to be
got
risk reward.
inspiration.
It was a 7 and a 4.
Okay.
So
meant to
no
be.
bow.
No bow. Not at this current point in time.
I
But-
can never win with this fucking bow.
I've got to set it to a point where it's like there's got to be that it's got to be that slim chance of success to the high chance of failure because it's just not really the class to do it, but it doesn't matter. So you try to commune with the bow. You do get, when you try to open your mind to it, you get that weird magical reverberation, something's there, but you just lose that. You just lose the connection at that last split second.
One question.
Yes.
Is it already Blood Moon?
No.
Okay.
You can see the glow beginning to start, but it's not happened yet.
I was going to see if that would help boost your magic, maybe.
But then you change your brain.
Nature's intelligence. I'm wisdom caster, so I'm not getting anywhere near the
same.
buffs I'm looking for.
So you're like, okay, that's not going to work. Let's try this second idea. You put the bow down, and you start thinking about when your dad basically made the magic eyeball to look at you, and you're like, maybe I can like just follow the fishing line and it'll be okay. And you grab onto the boat and you're like, all right, cocksuckers, you don't want to talk to me, that's fine, but I need some help here. And you're like, and like you're a tiefling, you've got like this infernal legacy. There's like some sub-level of magic that just runs through your body, el natural. And anyone who's outside, so you guys are walking away, the tree that Voyage is hiding in is behind you. You guys walking, and like there's some like orcs and barbarians walking around, and for a moment, the entire canopy of the tree erupts like an exploding light bulb. You guys are walking like, a couple of fucking birds fly away, and there was like, oh, your fully ears are ringing and your eyes are blinded. You're like, wee.
God damn!
Did you see that?
It's the Archer meme. Ma. Tinnitus.
Yeah. Forever. Like, for the next, like, 6 days in-game, you've got tinnitus of the left ear.
Disadvantage on any hearing checks.
Yeah, disadvantage on perception that requires hearing. On the left side only. So it means I have to build a map for every encounter. But you feel like that weird, like, sound in your brain. And for a moment, there's like a... comes in from the distance. I don't know what that is that you did. Don't ever do that again. What do you need?
You should have given me a sending stone then.
You know what? That's on me. That was bad parenting 101. I should have perhaps given you a sending stone.
Yep.
Would you like me to send Treble over with one? What?
How do you kill a dragon?
Oh yeah, this is sending. It's moving back and forth. So I think with his max level casting, you can get 5. So there's going to be 10. How do you kill a dragon? Hold on, darling. I don't think I quite heard you correctly. I'm going to take that back about 10 seconds. It's been a while since I've heard some utter bullshit. How to kill a dragon? Sweetie, are you fucking serious? Cut off.
Dad, I love you with all my heart. I know you're a caster. Bard, specifically. But be concise! How kill dragon?
How the fuck are we
How
gonna do
kill
this?
dragon? I got it! Please.
Whisper sweet nothings and it's here. Wine and dine it.
That's how a bard takes on a dragon, isn't it? Yeah.
Okay. He's gonna think about it. Decades ago, before you and your sister, your father and I had to help some unsavory individuals kill several dragons. It depends on the color, depends on their setting.
I wonder how to say.
Unless I know what type it is, I don't know how much help I can be.
Undead. P.S. Please send Trouble, I miss him.
Then you think about it, you're like, wait, I sailed for like 6 fucking weeks. There's no way that bird would make it. Because he's not an albatross. He can't lock his wings on the wind.
No, you vulture. You got this in the bag.
Vultures cannot.
I have faith.
Vultures
Just
are
does
very
circles
short
the whole way there. Get a little raft with some roadkill in it so we can just circle over it the whole time.
Oh shit.
Pig with a fishing rod and a carrot.
Yeah.
Hang on, I've just got to pull up some stuff. I'm going to pull up Solace for a second. His character sheet.
What level is Solace?
Come.
Excuse me.
On that thing.
That's not going to do it. You get the ring back. Unless you have a powerful cleric, or perhaps an artifact that can turn undead. And you hear in the distance, like, your father says just do it the old-fashioned way, stop being a pussy.
I remember my first dragon.
You hear in the background, he goes, Back when I was doing it, we did it with our bare fucking hands. I punched that cocksucker right in the dick. I feel like Kilag's that kind of dude, right?
Yeah, I just imagine him.
I punched him right in his left ball.
I imagine dragons like to be huge, right? I just imagine him like punching his toe. It's like, how's it feel to have a stub toe, bitch?
And then,
I was gonna say, I get one of these moments, for sure.
this is serious. This is serious.
Speed bagging that nut.
Speed back in that nut. Put that on his shirt.
Wait, that's what this episode's being called.
Absolutely not.
Yes.
We have stuff to do. Continue.
I can't take any of these people to a family gathering with my family now. Out, you'll never know.
Hashtag speed back that nut. God's in their heaven. That was fucking outrageous.
Now this is a moment to use AI to make some art.
No.
Don't want to mirror art. Don't you have to draw that, but
I want the
I'll do
guy
it.
who animated
Yeah.
all of the Tallback shorts to animate that for me.
Give me some
pay you
reference
good money.
pictures of them.
Okay, anyway,
I'm crying.
you've got
No need for AI, bitch.
your response, and I think he'll have one more.
Can we go over what he said one more time for my
We
peace of
went a little
mind?
bit off topic, didn't we?
He said, unless you have some sort of unless you have a high-powered cleric, an artifact, otherwise your father says do it the old-fashioned way. I think he would add on to that. Magic that deals in death dealing is no effect on against undead.
As in like necromancy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So no necrotics out of the question, of course.
What are you children drawing over there? You just want to be out of focus?
Probably.
Yeah, there we go.
It's beautiful.
I do the best dragons.
I do the best blood punching.
No one does like me.
No one punches balls like me.
I love how you're like a fucking Trump filter. I just say what I want said in a Donald Trump voice, and you just do it for me.
Anytime, because I love you.
Thank you.
If you want me to just voice memo you stuff, I'll happily do that.
Oh, excellent. Thank you.
It's
I'll
gonna
make
be
you a
my.
message to you got a message, it's the best message.
Please, honey, there's my text time.
We'll do it on break.
Excellent. Thank you.
I love the fact that my impersonations that I do on company time bring such joy to my friends and family. Anyway.
Can you send any help? 4 days to travel there?
Right, 3 or 4 days.
I feel like, I've actually got it written down here that
Day
it's
two.
1 day on foot.
Yeah.
I think, to where their village was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's 1 day consistently.
Yeah.
So if you were to leave first thing in the morning, you'd get there by like early afternoon.
I don't know where I got my timeline from.
YouTube was still open on my iPad when Lillian was watching it. I'm like, who's this kid? Oh my God.
Can you send any help?
Mhm.
Any final advice is appreciated. I don't think the old-fashioned way will really work. For none of us are old-fashioned disconnects.
Yeah, it's back on. Nothing I can convey in short form. If you can get away here, your father and I can give some advice and send back. He cuts them less short.
And that's it. That's all I've got. Or do I still have a
You get a response. Yeah, so when he sends, you get a response back. But this will be it, because he'll cap out and he'll need to rest.
Yeah.
Because I think he can only do it like 5 times in total because of the Warlock multi-class. Not you two, you fuck.
Won't make it in time. We leave in a day. Check in on me in 3 days, please. I love you all.
Yeah, I think. I'm just looking through his spells here.
That last one just sounds like he's losing faith.
Where the fuck is sent? There it is, there. It's 3rd level, right? Yeah. Yeah. So... You fucker.
Right now, I can do it. Total of 5 times.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So he can do it 8 times, actually, so he can send back, so we were only at 5. He sends one back. Okay. Be safe. We love you too. Just stay quick and stay far. It's what you're best at. I love you.
That's wholesome as shit. That's the last thing that comes through because he doesn't realise he can send back because he's lost count of how many back and forths there's been.
Yeah, so that's wholesome as shit, and you feel the like the line goes, and you're like, fuck! And you get the last one back. I am a bard. That's it.
Which you can reply to.
It's just the really quick, I love you too, Dad.
And that is it for the evening.
Puts down one figurative phone, picks up the rock.
Oh, here we go.
Yes.
Run your finger along the rune, the V.
Yep.
Goes blue. Hello?
Oh, hi. The 3-second delay that every boomer has.
Oh, God.
Can you hear me? Oh, hey.
Is this thing on?
Just a really quick follow-up on the last thing I asked about powerful packed fairy creatures. I figured it out. Can you look a specific one up for me?
I can try. It depends on if there's even books or documents that have that creature listed. But what do you need?
Can you look up the Wanderer? He kind of looks like, and he describes the Babadook.
Don't you dare do that, I'll kill you.
2 more times, go on.
You can hear him like he's writing down the note. Sure, I can see if anyone has anything written down somewhere. It'll take me a couple of days, but I'm sure I can do it.
I really appreciate that. There's just this awkward pause of, do I go into more detail about this? No, it's not my business, but it kind of is my business, but it's not my business. It's just that quiet pause for the longest time as he kind of just stares at the rock.
Hello?
I'm still here.
I can hear your heavy breathing.
I'm sorry. Just as soon as you know, please let me know.
Sure.
It's just really stressing me out.
Are you okay?
No. But he doesn't elaborate.
I think he waits for like more of a response, and he goes, "Okay, well, I think I'll go to bed so I can be up early to go do some research."
I am sorry.
It's okay.
Keeping you awake.
It's fine. I once didn't sleep for like 3 days straight. I had to cram so hard for exams. It was fucking wild.
Maybe we'll put that into practice at a later date.
Ooh, okay. Please tell me my mother is not within earshot.
No. I don't think the little ones can hear me.
Good.
Maybe that one.
These creepy ones.
Yeah. Well, if that's how you feel, we'll see if you can keep up, boy. Okay?
Challenge accepted.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go. I'll talk to you when I hear from... As soon as I hear something, I'll call you and let you know.
Thank you. Much appreciated. Sleep
Okay.
tight.
You too. Go get some rest. And tell Mama I said I love her.
Okay.
No, you hang up. You hung up.
You hang up first. Okay. She hung on me. What, dude?
You just kind of watch, and I imagine this from like a very far away perspective.
Hell yeah.
Like the camera's way zoomed out, but you can still see like him just doing small shit from a distance.
Yeah.
And you see the angry picking up of the bow, and then the sudden grab and slide down the tree.
And like the really dramatic stomping off where your whole body's moving
like
with
anime
step.
style where
Yeah.
they really aggressively power off.
Yeah.
They do shots like that where it starts in the distance and like zooms in. I picture it like that. Yeah, it's funny.
Fucking Bakugo walk.
Baka.
And it's just this.
Sassy Baka.
You just hear it wherever you guys are going. There's just these frustrated footsteps approaching.
I think you guys are like coming up on like the final like 15 feet of the door. You see like clank, 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 clank.
He just
Stand back and just let you.
he just on his way past.
Do you just barge through the door?
It's this case of he approaches the door, realizes how fast he's been moving, kind of stops for a second, wipes his feet, gently opens the door, looks to Zero and goes, Val says he loves you, closes the door behind himself and goes to the spare room.
I imagine he was walking up like,
Make a con save. You're blind.
Hearing the angry steps, Petunia has a moment to make sure that's not her dad coming up behind her again. It's like, okay, cool. This is
Nah, the gate's too wide.
your dad's more like,
Yeah, I think it's more like a...
plankton.
Alright, and you guys follow, I'm assuming, going to the house? Open the door, wander in. Zero, you watch Voyage power through the door, get that, and storm off to the spare room. And then about 10 seconds later, the Trouble Troika walk back through.
Zero is just sitting there silently, and she looks quite unimpressed. It's like the mum who's sitting there in the dark, and then you come home late, and it goes, where you been? Except she's just sitting there minding her own business. Looking, yes, quite unpleased.
That's what you three get when you enter.
I don't know about you guys, but maybe I'll stay in a tree or something. I could cut the tension in this room with a blunt fucking knife. It's that smooth.
For once, it's not us causing the tension.
she knew we were going. She chose not to come with us.
It's normal.
She's always intense, but not quite like that.
I mean this from all of them. Both of them, more accurately.
I've never seen Voyage unhappy since the moment I met him.
Oh, that's not a good sign.
No. I tried to talk to him earlier. Let's not talk about that.
Oh, okay.
He's not in the mood to talk, I'll put it that way.
I mean, I gathered that.
Yes.
You fuck up right now.
Look, I'm impressed with that one. I wasn't planning it.
Do we say something? Just let them work it out?
I've never been good in these moments.
Yeah, I got that. Tea?
Tea.
And unless there's anything major that would any of you would deem to happen before going to bed, we can probably expedite the process because there's been a lot going on and we have a big task ahead of us in the next day. So is there anything that anyone would like to do before going to sleep this evening, specifically, like while everyone bar Voyage is here and collected?
Not particularly.
With what Zeph just witnessed with Voyage, like saying nothing to them as he walked past, is going to basically take that as I'll leave him with his room and I'll sleep on the couch. Because clearly there's something going on and it's affected him, and it could be with the whole Fae shit.
Right.
So it's kind of like I would rather not wake up with an arrowhead to my throat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I think due to the state that like Zero can trance for 4 hours literally sitting in a chair, it's probably pretty easy for you to just sit in the armchair and just zonk out and then wake up and let Zeph have like the full couch because they need to sleep.
Yeah.
So that can definitely be what the arrangement is. Pat curls up on the floor in front of the fire, and Zero, you're able to just sit there and still have that like full awareness, you know what I mean? The beauty of being an elf. The beauty of looking good in your 60s.
Seeing that Zeph has opted to sleep on the couch, Zero looks even more unimpressed.
Yep. And like you end your night with that kind of vibe, like just being really unhappy.
There is a moment where she gets up and goes to the room that Voyage is staying in, and she reaches for the handle, and she stands there for ages mulling over it, and then remembers that she is in a house full of people that need a full night's sleep, and goes back to the lounge and just sits in the armchair, and she will leave it for now.
Okay.
Quick above the table question. If I have a spell that has, like it consumes something, it specifies that it consumes it, and those are items that can be bought, but it doesn't have any monetary value on it.
I can just say it's part of your cleric spellcasting.
Cool.
I don't keep track of nothing that has monetary value.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yep.
Unless it says like this much value.
Exactly right. That's where you actually need to make an effort. So if it's just like
oh, 5 diamonds.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. But yeah, no, that's fine.
Sweet.
What about you two? What's your evening routine before you go to bed? Assuming you're still sharing the bedroom.
Well, there's not really any other beds, are there?
Yeah, everyone's taken up now.
There is for anyone who's gaming.
I'd rather deal with this awkward situation than that one, especially after the threat I got earlier.
Just fucking in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Where is it?
The visual I got in my head, it was not a good one.
No, it was bad. But anyway.
He's just standing there menacingly.
He's pulling his cock out.
Grab his dick and twist it. But anyway, I'm just trying to get to the next morning. What's happening? Fuck.
I just want you guys to know that I said nothing then.
Proud of you.
You're guilty by
Association, yeah. Damn it.
If you're at this table, you're a filthy.
I've had
Guilty
my filthy moments.
I had the best one.
Yeah, I guess Hugle would awkwardly make his way to the room, sort of following the lead and making sure he's not, any moment of awkward, but...
It's just the same. It's the same awkward as the night before.
Yeah.
Just a quiet prayer before bed. Bedtime routines, like.
Face masks.
Nah.
Pedicures.
We're not that bougie. I get into bed, but it's like the same as before. It's always like a far bit of the bed, so it's like there's as much empty room in that middle spot as possible. And it's not like a ew or gross. It's like a make this less uncomfortable for everyone. That kind of
100% matched. But again, as the night goes on, I imagine Hugle sort of in his sleep or sort of half aware, makes his way closer.
Yeah, fully in her sleep, moves over as well.
They awkwardly wake up hugging.
Yeah, every time.
Just accept it already. No kid.
rolls too far and falls out of the bed.
I have the best slow burn.
I have the best enemy lovers, okay? No one does it like me. No one does enemy lovers like me. Okay. The early morning breeze is brisk. And if you were to step out immediately the second you wake up, you know for a fact that it would sting what bare skin you have showing. The trees rustle, almost in a weird sense, cheering you on as you wake up to face the day and take your first steps possibly towards one of your greatest foes. Achievements or bad choices. The residents of Potts Hollow, even in the wake of their home being invaded by monsters of the abyss, are awake in the early hours of the morning and are working to unify their home once again. The rolling of wooden wheels against the dirt path, the bleating of the goats and rams in the paddocks, the sympathetic sounds of the village life permeates your ears as you all come to consciousness. Is there anything you would like to do before you leave today? Because I believe the previous conversation was Dushka was the following morning you guys would head off, so.
I do have a few things, but
Absolutely, lay it on me.
I'm gonna say like this one's more of like roleplay shit, and then the other one is also
Yeah, go ahead.
with Hugle.
Go
but,
ahead.
I'll say Zeph actually wakes up a lot earlier than normal this time. Not so much had the best sleep, but still got the full 8 hours. And
Yeah, you slept, but it wasn't comfy.
yeah, and
Yep.
they'll wake up, and the first thing that they'll do is just Zero.
Zero's sitting there already staring at you.
Oh, God.
It's not like a wee. It's just like a very like relaxed. Was just like watching them sleep and noticed that like
A mum on Christmas morning.
yeah, literally. You want to wrap your presents or what?
Smoking inside.
I redid my makeup 3 times before you came. I've been crying for hours.
And
Fuck.
Zeph will just like kind of sit up because I'm assuming like the armchair's there, couch is there, and then Zeph's head's here so they can see Zero.
And they're both kind of facing the fireplace, yeah.
Yeah, and without like properly sitting up or anything like that, they're still just laying on the couch, and they'll just say, "Do you think Voyage will accept us again?"
He doesn't have to like what we are, but he must respect it if he wants to keep traveling with us. He is more than welcome to venture out on his own, but I think both you and I know that that is not a very fortuitous decision for him, considering what he wishes to achieve. We will not know what his problem is until he speaks to us. And last night, I have been reminded that whilst growth is ever present among us, he is still a child.
I do forget that he's still quite young. Like, I can't really say much. I'm also pretty young too, but I just don't want this knowledge of my race to determine his willingness to be my friend. Because literally, regardless of what I look like, I'm still the same person.
Tell him that. Sometimes things are not meant to come to us. Sometimes we are meant to go to it.
I'll give him a bit more time. I don't want to bombard him with more things to think about.
If that is what you think best. You are the captain of your own ship. Zefaris. There is nothing wrong with you. It doesn't matter where you came from, what you are. You are just Zefaris. And that is more than enough.
After that, they just get up because they know that if they speak, they will either cry or their voice will break. Because as much as they love their adoptive family, words like that with that amount of like truth and love behind it have not been said to them before. So they'll just get up and do the best thing that they know how to do and make a mean fucking coffee.
Hey, get amongst it.
Yeah, baby.
And then they'll just sit back down and give you your mug and just wait for everyone else to wake up and just absorb that information.
Zero will sit in comfortable silence with Zefaris and enjoy a coffee.
Well done. That was very nice. We'll cut to you two next. How does your morning go?
I imagine the wake up and Hugle's sort of wrapped around and sort of kind of like without waking, you can just
Numb arm, drool
and
on
then
her
pulling the blanket
head.
up and laying back on the bed like this is how I woke up. Just laying like this.
I think with the passive that she has, the second you start moving, she sort of starts waking up, but doesn't fully like grasp what's happening until you've like fully moved. She's like, oh fuck, and sort of rolls around as well. So she's also facing the way she was when she went to sleep. She's like,
I woke you up, didn't I?
yeah, I'm not gonna lie, yeah, you did.
Do you want some tea?
Let's get some tea.
The door down the hall opens and Petunia and Hugle follow. We'll go to Voyage. You wake up alone. The room, it's cold, not in the sense that it's chilly, but it's cold in the sense that you're alone.
Of note, he elected to sleep on his bedroll on the floor, not in the bed.
Okay. So you kind of left it there as like a half-written invitation kind of vibe?
Kind of like a, it's not my bed.
Fair enough, okay.
It's not mine.
He's got fake cooties.
With
Not the direction I was going!
with my insight, do you think we would have, like, I'm guessing we kind of know that his reaction is due to the Fae factor?
I think everyone
Like,
is
that's-
just, they're like, oh, new information got shared to everybody and now he's acting out.
Yep.
It's probably linked, but you're not going to get confirmation until it is said out loud.
There's this, from an outside person who can hear, who wasn't flashbanged and who doesn't have tinnitus,
Yeah.
you can hear him packing up his shit, and then oh fuck, that's right, thunk, as dog arrives.
Both of his pupils are shifting indifferent because he's like been cooped up forever.
Hit my toad.
Yeah. Hypnotom.
Sorry about that. You need to be my eyes and ears today. I did something stupid.
Did you eat bad food?
Close enough.
Oh, yeah, that'll get you.
Yeah.
Start sniffing around the floor.
Yeah, you gotta be my eyes and ears, okay?
Nothing bad in here, Dad.
Thank you. He's kind of realized that he can comfortably hold on to one of Dog's spikes at a full stand. He's all like, it's that double take of, fuck, you actually are kind of tall now.
Yeah, I had a growth spurt.
I gotta stop feeding you bacon. I can't tell if you're getting taller or
All
wider.
you guys hear from down the hall is... but all you hear is, no!
He opens the door and I imagine he's immediately jumping ship to someone who will feed him bacon.
Oh yeah,
here
you
you go,
guys
dog.
you guys hear the fucking
Choking like a fern.
slides down the hallway.
The maple kind? And then I fed it to the cat. And then I fed it to Pat.
But there is this slow kind of following behind Dog. He kind of just like steps into like the doorway to the room. But it's that I'm looking at both of you, but I've not made eye contact with either of you kind of. My face is not matching. It's because of the amount of mint that's currently in my face. It's that. What's that? Good morning. And then he goes off to the kitchen.
Zero does not say good morning back.
Is there a stove in the kitchen?
Yeah.
You come into the kitchen to Hugle with like a pan and a gold coin melting in it.
What the fuck?
Maureen, you done pouting? I'm doing something.
It's not food.
I'm doing something.
If you're in my pants, you'll have to buy me some more ones.
What? He's in your pants now? Guys!
Banish! No.
You already see the hammock and little umbrella there? This is nice!
Espresso martini. When did this place get a butler?
It's the Wanderer.
Wanderers here.
But he's got a fake mustache. Like, I've always been there, so.
Intelligence too low. Can't tell.
No, yeah, he's melting
Distant relations.
a gold coin in a pan on the stove.
Why?
I'm doing something.
What?
You promise to keep your dick away if I talk to you now?
I'm sorry, but you've got a bad habit of interrupting things when I don't want to be interrupted.
I was just checking on you.
I appreciate it.
You're done being grumpy today?
Yeah.
Good. I'm making something for Zeph.
How?
He'll look over his shoulder to see that. Can people see into the kitchen? Like, is
Yeah.
It's all
It's
open
open
floor.
plan.
Yeah.
Is Zeph within the eye shot? Like, where? Like, I'll tell you later.
He gets closer and he whispers, "No, I want to know now. Tell me."
Go on, you know you want to. You know you want to. I saw you power do the code. Like,
Do you want me to roll something to see? Or?
both of you roll stealth checks.
Ah.
Nat 20, motherfucker!
What the fuck? Yeah, I fucked that.
Yeah, that was only a 14 for perception.
Yeah, only an 11 on my end.
I got dirty 20.
Damn.
Oh, yeah, you're right there. I'm not trying
We're
to.
trying to play
yeah,
it too
yeah.
cool.
And it's too obvious.
We're like trying to concentrate where we zone out.
Yeah, you force yourself to disassociate, not realizing you could do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. What have you rolled? I've got
So it's this case of like, you know when you got to whisper to a child? and he kind of crouches a little bit so he's closer to your level, but he's all like, very obviously, his hand is up, and he's all like, no, please, tell me. I rolled a 6.
So you can keep it hush, but he's struggling to deter. Maybe it was the flashbang from the light bulb.
He's still got tinnitus, he can't gauge.
He pulls out the little skull that he got before, and he'll put it down sort of out of eye shot, grab something like a little bit, just something a bit more solid from the room, and hits it and cracks it, and he's doing this very sort of off the side. He'll then scoop a bit of the gold from something and sort of start to mesh it into the cracks.
Ooh.
Is this... Is this because they pray to the Raven Queen now?
I don't know if she prays to her or if she ever will, but it's nice to have a memento of some things.
Will it be a necklace?
That's the plan.
Give me a moment. And he kind of does this awkward shuffle out of the kitchen. Yeah.
Nah, Voyage does the Jamiroquai.
Oh, yes! Yes! And it's this really quick, but like, as he passes you two on the couch, he just kind of... and keeps going.
Wow. Fumble the bag.
Yeah, so what Hugle's going to be trying to do is like do like sort of the gold cracks like that. I mean, yes.
Yes, kids. I was like, there's a word for it.
And fill the eye holes of the thing with gold as well.
You can do that for sure. It's just pouring a mold.
Mm.
And he comes back with one of the spare bowstrings.
Oh,
And he goes, in theory, you just... and then it should set in shape, right?
I have an idea. And he'll grab it, and instead of doing it the whole way around, he kind of dunks little sections so it can still chain,
Move.
but there's little bits of gold.
You can do that, absolutely.
And maybe even use the gold then to sort of mold it to one of the pieces.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Just make a quick little ring that latches onto the back of the skull.
Mm-hmm.
And you're able to make a Kitsune Raven skull.
Beautiful. And that goes into the bag of holding.
Okay. Well done.
Don't feed dog any bacon, he's banned, because I can't tell if he's getting wider or taller.
No!
No worries.
He's sneaking. You rolled a nat 20 on stuff and
You drop a piece of bacon that you cooked earlier, and before it even hits the ground, dog like die hard dives and catches it.
Oh no! Whoops!
Oh no! How could I be so stupid? Is there anything that anyone would like to see done before you are due to leave? Ow.
Zeph will get up from the couch, and they would have still had their empty mug in their hand because they were like, I'm too lazy to go to the sink right now to put it in there. So they would have gone up, put it in there, and then turned to Hugle. Have you got any ranged weapons in that bag of holding of yours? Because I remember the bandits...
And pulls out like 3, what was it, short crossbows we got?
I think they were like light crossbows, yeah.
Yeah.
Would I be able to have one of those?
You've got the bucket of bolts as well.
Now, Petunia,
Yes.
would you have access to very flammable oil?
I'd say probably likely. It's used in prayers and rituals quite a bit.
Would you be able to get me a decent sized, what would they call it, like flask?
Like a flask or a
Yeah.
skin.
Flagon.
Yeah.
Flagon, yeah. A decent sized flagon.
A stein.
A barrel.
Of oil. And if there are any, because you're a lot more equipped than I am, if there are any sort of herbs or anything like that for sluggishness,
Yeah, that's easy enough.
I would greatly appreciate if you could teach me how to make some sort of potion. I guess what I'm trying to do is essentially use as many resources as I can to assist in this battle for the dragon.
Yeah, that's quite doable.
Because me personally, I think a very potent drug that would make something sluggish or sleepy could assist, maybe, depending on the size of this thing.
That is a very good point that we will have to consider. Definitely on the smaller things, if there are any of those, I'm sure. That big thing, I imagine, based on the sheer size of what dragons are said to be, it would take quite a lot to start really hurting it. But we can definitely see what we've got. And
Are you in the
that's easy
kitchen?
enough.
Yeah.
Like, am I here?
Yeah, I'm with you both.
I'm not too sure how much poisons and anything that's going to pump through the blood of something that might not have pumping blood is.
Is why I had the
fire,
oil as well, so then I
That
could
can do.
basically set it aflame.
I'm sure we can steal a few oil lamps on the way out of town as well.
Or ask for them.
That's not as fun.
Such a Hugle response.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong.
Imagine that you're always Hugh's moral compass. Sorry.
I wasn't. It was right
Correct
there.
me if I'm wrong. But I did collect that second pot of goo from the tar pits. Because for some reason Voyage likes collecting pots of goo.
Yeah.
Did I give that to someone?
I have 3 all up because we collected 2 earlier and you picked that one up. I did identify on that. Would it be flammable?
You gave one to me as well.
Okay, so I'm down to 2.
It would, I don't believe actual, tar itself as a mineral is flammable, but also by this point it would have coagulated to a solid because it needs consistent heat to stay liquid.
So, let's heat it back up again. If it's not flammable, it's sticky. And that might... And he kind of looks at Zefaris, looks down and goes, might work for the sluggishness.
You look at me when you talk to me.
I like the idea, but I don't know if throwing more corruptive magic at a creature of corrupted magic. I feel like I'm the naysayer in this room, but these things are just clicking.
Well, I mean,
But is it magic?
Yes,
or is it
that,
just tar?
that is corruptive
yeah.
magic.
the way that it was affecting the witch and the forest, I imagine, is probably somewhat similar, at least, to the dragon.
I think looking at it when you pull the jar out in the solidified state that it's in, yes, it is corruptive to a sense, but I think you would also innately, especially the spellcasters of the group, would probably get the sense it's once it's been dragged away from the place that it got stemmed from, it probably is not going to have that same charge and effect anyway, because it's more so the area that permeates the magic, and then it's dried and gone hard. The properties are probably dissipated.
Okay.
It would just burn the fuck out of someone.
Yeah, the idea of tar, though. We could just get other kinds of tar. Just something to slow that big fucker down. I assume he's big from what we've heard.
You think?
But whatever we do, no necrotic.
No, that doesn't tend to work on the undead.
My other dad also said to do it the old-fashioned way, which I think Zero might have in the bag. And look, if it's dead, you shine a light on it. I don't know, maybe I'm mathing wrong here.
Doesn't seem like a bad approach.
Look, there's a couple of different kinds of undead out there. There's the necromantic. You got your classic zombies, but what we tend to be seeing in at least the northern parts of this land is corruptive. We talked about it last night, but if we could possibly find what is corrupting it, we could have an advantage here. Oh, and I I don't know if you noticed the red moon's starting to peer over last night, but
Yeah,
there's some fucked up shit happening in
Nope,
the next few
we're
weeks.
gonna pretend that's not happening.
I don't
It
know if that's
is.
a good idea.
Shh, it's not happening. Let's just not look at it for like another day and then we can worry about it.
Well, yeah, look, I don't know if that's going to be the most healthy approach, but sure, whatever you need.
Voyage is all like, I can just throw the moon under a rug.
Just has an umbrella up the entire time.
Yeah, pretty much.
I know there's a lot going on in that head of yours, but this is the time to pull your shit together.
I get it. I get it. I'm trying.
You got this.
He just kind of like slowly starts slinking away again. He's just retreating over it. He wants nothing to do with that part of the conversation right now. He's just going to pretend nothing is wrong.
Hugle's just going to let him go.
Alright. You all gather your things and begin to prep like your travel kits, weapons clean, all your ammunition. You can add a light crossbow and a pack of bolts to your inventory now. Yeah. But just, I believe one bundle of bolts is 20, but that's all you're going to get. And by this point in the morning, it's like 8 a.m. You know, you guys are up pretty early. And when you, unless there's anything anyone wants to do right before you step out, is there anything anyone wants to do before stepping out into the big wide world?
I think Petunia would just let the kids know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna be out for a little while, going out to the forest to fix some of the problems. You guys stay here. You look out for the house, look out for the people. We'll be back.
Matoria gets a little bit like a sad expression on her face. She goes, okay. Just make sure you come back.
I will.
And Mateo walks out of the bathroom like soaking wet from like having a bath towel, like putting his pants on, brushing his teeth. Can you bring me back something cool?
I'll do my best.
Awesome. He's brushing his teeth.
Inspector Joseph. Look after yourself. Look after your brother.
Okay.
We'll be back.
I know.
So he gives her a little pat on the side of the face.
They didn't listen last time.
And if I say you follow me out to the forest, alright?
Oh no, I'm not doing that again.
Good, thank you.
That was scary.
Yes, it was.
Fuck that.
Good. I'm glad we're on the same page with this one. Alright.
You guys did very well.
Thanks. Go on, do it.
We'll talk about it later.
That was such a mum and dad conversation.
Hell yeah.
She's giving him like the angry mum look that she never got a chance to really use.
He's sort of just smirking about it.
Queen Corvus in the back of your head. You fucked up, my love.
I know what I was doing.
Well, why do I buy a biscuit when I'm back from the race? Fuck.
Such is life.
I know. Not a good time to snack. I thought I was ready and I wasn't. As you go to the opening of the village that leads back into the forest, which again will lead to the main path, Juska is there to see you off. Gives her a little bit preemptively giving her thanks. You know, like in light of how bad this can be, but in light of like the numbers lost for them, it's obviously a very big deal. But she looks down at you all and goes, no matter what happens, you'll go out as heroes and you'll come back as heroes. For us. For everybody. And we thank you for it.
Just keep the village safe.
On my honor.
There's going to be a crazy week ahead.
Yeah, she's gonna make an insight check. She's gonna. Where is?
24.
Holy fuck!
Goddamn.
I can see into her soul.
I'm the queen now.
I've got a calculator right here.
I am the queen now.
With a 22, she doesn't quite do it. You can see that she has something burning behind her eyes, but she doesn't know how to bring it up.
Is everything alright? Now's the time. There's a good chance we ain't coming back.
In our tribe, the ruler has always been one, whether it be a father figure, a mother figure. Normally it is women, but we always have our consorts. My life partner did not make it out the day we ran, and I am worried that he is risen again. If that is the case, you'll know when you see him. Make it honorable, but make it quick. Please.
Consider it done.
And she nods down. You hear a from like the top of the tower, and once again, Colton and Dario above up there, and there's like give you a big wave, and like a couple of the other like the barbarian, like the orcs and the Goliaths and stuff, come out, and like as you guys like begin to like leave the city, it stops being this like real soft, idyllic little village, and it's just a lot of like they're fucking like egging you guys on, like they're like it's the only way they know how, you know what I mean? They're just jocks, they're just party animals, and they're just like they're like giving like it's like some of the like the huge massive orcs are like banging on their chests and shit, and they're like creates like a rumble in the ground, like they're like cheering you guys out the gate.
Oh, Zero turns invisible. Yeah.
Not a fan?
No.
Is it because they're all jocks?
Nah, just
That's like attention.
yeah.
I guess it is the anathema of your line of work.
Yeah, literally.
Me just spitting crumbs everywhere. Fair enough. You just come, and some of them just go, whoa! But they don't know what's going on because they're just like, whoa!
To draw the attention away from Zero when she goes to cast invisibility, there's just this draconic uproar from Dog and Voyage to match the war cry.
It's like when bulldogs can only squeak bark, but then when they get really angry, they're like aggro bark. That's what it sounds like for Dog. He finally gets his chest in him, and he loves it. Like he's like thriving on it. And even Pat like is kind of like wigging out with all the noise, and then kind of like finds his little groove a bit and like follows along with his little fluffy owlbear butt. And as you guys are walking out, there's a quick pattering of feet, and I think everyone's heart just stops and we're like, fuck, here we go. The gate's really small. It's going to be one of these fucking halflings or Herringon. And you go to turn around, and it's your mum. Rose. Is it Rose? Yes, Rose. I'm trying to remember from memory. And she's like out of breath, like she sprinted with her little gate all the way down from the top of the fucking town all the way to the end. Hello, Dietrich.
Hey, you're outside.
Yes, your father has been quite upset with what's going on, all things considered. Are you all right?
I'll be alright. Always am.
I just wanted to see you. And I had a feeling. And I just wanted to be sure that you were sure. Is this what you want? To be out there?
Well, I'd rather be out there and dead than staying here and die with us, knowing that I could have done something. I can't just stay. Like, you remember back when they first showed up and paddled. And I helped. I can help.
Well, and she like straightens up a bit. If you're sure, I'll see you when you get home. She like strokes your face a
She
bit,
gives her a really big hug.
and she gives you a really big hug back. And you guys are able to turn to leave. Everyone else falls back into the village. I had the cream of the bicky in my teeth that whole time. Damn it. Crossing the threshold back into the Potswood, your ears begin to hear the transitory sounds of the village crossing over into that of the wild forest. Even when the soft chatter and the faded voices of the village folk disappear into the background, your ears are picking up like the soft chirps of birds and the cheering of critters unseen and insects and all those little dudes. While it's a relaxing feeling, you can also feel the tension in the air. For one of you, you're leaving home again. For another, you're leaving to possibly go the farthest you've ever gone from home. For the rest of you, it's just one more step after the other towards uncertainty and what waits for you on the other side. Now, from Potts Hollow to where the village has been marked on Hugle's map, it is about a day to travel. You guys have left pretty early in the morning, so if you make a consistent pace, you'll make it by mid-evening. If anyone would like, if you have any ideas or skills you want to apply to maybe try and expedite the process, now would be the time, as you guys are basically just continuing to walk.
Mounted on the back of dog. Just either forest or grassland for natural
It's forest,
explore.
yeah.
Yep. So, being a favoured terrain, proficiency doubled for skills.
Survival.
Hang on. Your proficiency bonus is doubled for proficient skills when you make an int or wisdom check related to it while travelling for an hour or more in your chosen terrain. Difficult terrain doesn't slow your group's travel. Your group can't become lost except by magical means. You remain alert to danger when you are engaged in another activity. You can move stealthily at a normal pace while alone. You can find twice as much food while foraging or while tracking creatures, or learn the exact number and size and how many and how long ago they passed through the area.
Okay, so that's, by this point, it's just you trying to find a clearer path, which you can do, so go hard and roll that if you would like.
Additionally, primeval awareness at the same time. As an action, you can expand a spell slot to sense any aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, or undead who are present within 1 mile.
Within a mile? No, it's definitely more than a mile.
I want to do that twice while we travel for substitution of first level spell slots. The first one being as we start, the second when we're about 3/4 of the way there.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
I'm going to use my map maker's thing to see if I've got a shortcut.
Yes, you can. And I'll say with Voyage, you can make it with advantage.
Oh, well, I got it anyway.
There you go.
So I reach into my map and start pulling things out, and I, particularly in this area, probably know as I've done this journey before, pull out what is a small shortcut.
You can make yours with advantage too, because he's got his map.
I rolled a 26 on perception. Technically,
Wait,
it is
perception?
a 36
On perception.
because it's wisdom or intelligence.
Yeah, but if you're, were you looking for stuff, or were you trying to find a quicker path? That's what I asked before, and I didn't.
Traveling the terrain, I assumed.
It would be survival,
Okay.
which would be the same.
Yeah.
According to this, it
So it's
halves our time, but you can just
Jesus
based on
Christ,
everything.
yeah. So with a 36 and then a 20, what was it, 20 something?
I rolled.
Oh, you rolled.
It's a 25. A 23 I got, but I only had to roll above a 15. If I rolled more than 5 above, it includes notes on the terrain.
Okay, so what that basically means is what would become basically like a 9-hour journey gets cut down to like 3.5 hours because you guys are able to buckle through like all this fucking
I don't know
terrain.
if we head through here. It's a bit thick, but with your help, and we'll lead the way in pushing through
Yeah, for sure.
not on the paths, kind of going.
Yeah, you two are leading. Petunia, I think you'd probably be close
Natural
to.
explorer.
Yeah.
Sorry, it was a 32.
Where would you be in the column? Would you be like hanging back a little bit? Would you be more further ahead, like scouting ahead? Where do you want to be?
Nah,
So I've got something for you.
I'd be hanging back a bit,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the first time that Zeph just, without like not really praying out loud, but like in their head, where it's just like, kind of like, hi.
Hey girl! That's fucking sent him. That sent him. Holy shit.
I've been so like, my prayers are all so fucking
Formal. Yeah, it's just kind of like, I don't know how to do this, but
Everyone prays in their own way.
I just want like I guess just if there's anything that you can do to maybe help me get back home safe so then I don't die and my parents wonder what the fuck happened to me and Goss is all like also really upset and it's literally just fucking every thought that they have retained ever since they left the city is just being vomited mentally to this entity hoping, like, even if, like, the Queen of Corvus doesn't even respond, it's just Zeph's way of dealing with it because they've had this whole thing build up of they haven't talked to Goss since they left the city at all. They haven't heard anything from their parents since God knows when.
Because there's no way for them to contact you.
Yeah, and they have no idea what's going on or anything like that. So all that build up is just like, I'm probably going to die, and if this does happen, I just want you to maybe some way let them know in some form, if I do die, that I still love them.
First of all, how dare you? Secondly, I would like you're going to make a religion check with advantage.
Go, girl. Go piss, girl.
You want to beat 15.
You also got inspiration, remember that?
You do have inspiration. I'm saying the DC kind of lowish.
Well, that's a 17, so
What's the total?
17 plus 1, 18.
Okay. There is a moment where, for a split second, everything around you goes silent, and you can feel that, like the deafening silence where it's so quiet, your ears feel like they're falling in on themselves, like you've ever been in a soundproof booth. It's kind of like that. And just ever so faintly in the distance, you hear the cawing of a raven, which you think is only for you, but then you hear it as well. But no one else hears it. You hear it behind you, and you look back and you see this moment of deep expression and deep thought on Zefaris' face. I think that would probably be an ample enough thing for you. And I'm gonna say, in light of the fact that the crisis of faith has been such a peculiar thing for Zeph since before they left the city, you're gonna get a slight boon, which is the only thing that she can do, and I think it'll last until you have to use it. You can get one advantage roll on a death saving throw.
Yeah.
Should you ever go down.
Nice.
But before you do what you want to do, as you're walking over, so I'm assuming at the tail end of the column, kind of looking over the kids.
She rides her invisibility to the very end. So like if we're traveling for
ride
like
it out.
3.5 hours for the first whole third of that, she's just at the back, still invisible.
Yeah, concentration 1 hour, yeah, you're fine. I think as you're walking along...
Oh shit, we've gone too quick. We've lost one.
I think there's a moment where you feel the two hands on your shoulder, and you feel like the craning neck, and you can see him, but he's also invisible with you because he kind of emanates from you, and you watch him as his long neck cranes out, and he's just eyes up at Voyage. He's, did I hurt his feelings? Oh, is he upset with me? Am I the drama?
Am I
I don't think I'm the drama.
Zero thinks on it for a bit.
I had to do it.
She does get a bit of like a smirk on her face and then reins it back in because she's like, no, I'm cranky. And
Oh man! Just punch yourself in the head. Oh man!
This is Voyage's fault.
I think perhaps he is more angry at me for taking you on. He seems to have an issue with beings of your stature.
That's funny. That's quite funny. That really is. I'm gonna be completely transparent with you, my love. I fucking hate my kind too. Just a bunch of whiny, pesky cunts, the lot of them. But I tell you what, it's way more fun being on this side of the pond, fucking with everything. But he'll get over it. He has to.
He has to.
I know something you don't know.
No, you bastard! And you hear like invisible like ruffling and like dirt kicking, and there's a bit of dirt that goes as she like kicks the dirt a bit. And,
Of note,
Yeah.
from the front of the pack, because of all the things Voyage has
primeval
gone
awareness,
on,
yeah.
he's looking straight at the spot where the dust gets kicked up, right above your head. But it looks like he's staring right at you. It's right above your head.
Zero won't interact. She's
mad.
staying invisible until the very absolute end.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Eventually, after an hour and a bit, you do drag out invisibility. I think there's a moment where, like, you feel it begin to falter, and you just feel a finger tap you on the forehead, and you just get, like, another 10 minutes of invisibility. He goes, yeah, have one on me.
You like it. She like kind of like relaxes it a bit because she wasn't like mentally prepared for it to like run out. So she like internally like gives a. She's grateful for the extra 10 minutes. It's like a little gracious sleep in.
Yeah,
On a morning where you just don't want to get up.
That was me, literally today.
Yeah.
But we'll cut to you because you sent me a little something sneaky on the side.
I did.
Before we arrive at our destination.
So at some point, as we're moving through, Hugle falls back a little bit and just ends up next to Zeph. How you doing?
Fine.
Come here. Like, come down.
Just knees cracking.
Becomes a
Oh, actually,
Just shrink?
Halfling Zeph!
hold on. Let me just.
Oh my god, a Zeppling.
Zeppling!
I didn't know you could do. Surely that would have been an easier way to get her out the house. No. Off subject.
It's an old habit of ducking, so.
I've got something for you. I don't mean to be presumptuous, and I know you're not necessarily just here. And he'll reach in and pulls out, and has it grasp his hand. You can see like a little bit of the gold, like homemade chain. Grabs your hand and puts it in. It never hurts to have a little symbolism. And let's go into your hand. And
Literally before you let go, because Zeph's stronger.
Then, yes. Oh wait, how strong's Zeph? Hugle's weirdly strong.
And you don't use a mace. It's so fucking peculiar.
It was a bad build. Okay.
What's yours?
I think he's a 12.
14.
Yeah. Okay, you got me.
Just
Zeph's got that sinew, like, parkour muscle.
literally pulls your arm in and like just gives you this like big bear hug
Hugs back.
and just like holds on to you for a few minutes but they don't say anything. It's like kind of, if you were to read into it, it'd be the sense of, you helped me find this and I thank you for that. and then afterwards they'll put it on immediately.
He smiles with just a proud sort of smile, gives you a nod, and then heads back to the front of the pack.
Hours pass, and hundreds of trees have passed by your eyes as you continue to march towards the old village. By about within the last hour, so like within that last hour window before you know you guys are set to arrive, due to the insane skills between Voyage and Hugle being able to traverse the forest, passively you all realise it's quiet. It's too quiet. You guys realise that roughly 40 minutes ago, the sounds of bird and wildlife stopped. The only sound that exists here in this space is the sounds of your footsteps upon the soil and the falling leaves. As you continue to walk, you begin to hear faintly in the distance the soft sound of trickling water. Being close to the base of the mountains, it's not unrealistic to think that there is a river of some sort or some flow, something that flows from the top of the mountains. Because you know it gets quite cold up there. Some of the ice will maintain its temperature, go down. Anyone who wants to make an insight check for me.
Oh, inside.
Not to be confused with outside.
25.
Damn.
14.
That's alright.
19.
And it landed on like a 16 or something.
I
What was
got
that, sorry? 0?
19.
And what'd you get, Zeph?
I only got an 8.
Okay.
Zeph's
28.
too late.
Okay. For those who succeeded, so anything over DC 13, it's peculiar that there's running water in a forest, but not an animal to be seen or heard. As you continue.
It's the blood of our enemy.
Are we at that 3/4 mark?
You're getting very close, so if you would like to cast Primeval Awareness again.
Yep.
Off the cuff, the energy leaves your mind's eye, and you're, because it's a mile, right? And a mile's like what, 3.5 kilometers, give or take?
Give or take.
Yeah. You are bombarded with undeath everywhere. Like, it's to the point where it's almost like convulsing your senses. You can't pinpoint exactly where it is and where it isn't, but you know it's within a mile. Like, it's close.
How about dragon?
No, not at this moment.
Cool.
Question.
Yes.
Did we establish whether I'd been to this village on my way out of the city?
I believe if it might have been out of game where we discussed it. I think you would have maybe crossed paths with it once, but you didn't really stay.
No, but I've been there.
Yeah, you definitely would have been there. Yeah, you would have stopped in. So that's why with the map it's quite easy for you to track it. I think it was just you getting it redone on the map was like just to jog your memory, because you were gone for like 4 years. So like, and that was before you really started doing map making. So like,
When we're within a mile of the village, let me know.
by this point, I'm going to say you are within a mile because his primeval awareness works out to a mile.
Okay, cool.
The sun begins to hit like that midday point because you guys were like burned quite through, so you actually made a lot of time. Did you have something you wanted to add, Voyage, before we continue? I saw you put your hand up.
While leading the group through, using Natural Explorer, I do want to be keeping tabs on the amount of tracks that come through, because as part of Natural Explorer, you learn the exact number, sizes, and how long ago undeath has passed through the area.
Nothing leading in or out.
Okay.
But you feel it, but nothing's come out, nothing's gone in.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. As you're all moving and getting closer and closer to the village, this is probably something for those who are up the front, so you two specifically, you start to feel, like, you know when you walk on like something different in the grass and you can instantly feel the texture difference, like the weight difference, and it really throws you off for a second? You begin to feel like that squelching beneath your feet. And you look down and you see like a small patch of like shrubs, like kind of like, you know, little sprouts of like moss and leaves, whatever grows on the bottom of the forest floor. I'm not a fucking botanist, sue me. Thank you. Finally, witches, man. They know the plants. And these small like patch of ferns you guys begin to see it's in like this really aggressive, deep state of rot, but it's not a rot that like a normal plant or a garden would face in like the encroaching winter, but something darker, like bile, cancerous, like black veins spreading, like you know, like leaves have like those really fine veins that spread through. This stuff is passing through at a rate where the veins are so prominent, like just your normal eyes can see them. These microscopic veins that are just infected with this black, this darkness. And as you begin to shift across the horizon, you begin to see that it's not just this small shrub, but some of the trees are also inundated with these marks of rot, like a spreading disease. It's like rapturous veins, like spreading deep in the bark, like when people get like, there's some snake poisons that when they go through your veins, it causes your arteries to expand, like they swell, which again stops blood flow and it basically chokes you to death. Imagine that encroaching up the entirety of like a thick oak tree. Just
Would this be reminiscent of anything I saw in the Deadlands?
No. And you instinctively, I think everyone would do it, especially you being a gunslinger that's range and close combat. You look up and you like, it's to a point where you look up and you realize that the red of your shades dilutes what's in front of you and you have to take your shades off to look. And even though that little bit of light that peers through the clouds hurts your eyes, you look up and see that all the once green and vibrant leaves that are above you that made up the entire canopies of like this area of the woods are deepened browns and rotted blacks. Their very vitality has been sucked dry from the leaves.
All the leaves are brown and the sky is grey.
What's that Billy Talent song? Falling leaves on the ground. Yeah, it's wicked. Does anyone say anything? Does anyone make note of anything with all this information kind of bombarding you guys as you're literally within the last mile?
You hear a gun cock.
You hear the Wanderer is just like, oh yes, party time.
June does not look happy at the dead trees. That's not right. It shouldn't look like that.
Something right on them woods.
Even if it seems like Voyage is leading them through a rougher terrain or a rougher path to avoid these patches as they slowly become denser. He's specifically leading them through using lens stride
Yeah.
to move through non-magical, difficult terrain at no additional cost.
Yep, that's fine. You push on. As you inch closer towards the village, your eyes are still scanning across the lifelessness of the woods around you. There are no songs sung by birds, no chirping of insects, no skittering of critters along the forest floor. There is just your own breath and the wind that rustles the dead leaves. And it almost sounds like screaming. As a unit, you move slowly, careful about where you step, following in Voyage's path. Voyage, you place your foot onto the earth and feel and hear a hard crunch. And you look down, you see the half-eaten body of a large insect-like creature. And I'd like you to make a nature check for me, please.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, no, sorry. You would just know this because you're a ranger. I had that written here and I just didn't get that far. It's a large, hollowed-out corpse of a locust. At least it's some kind of locust. Its appendages are similar, but slightly different. Almost wrong. Like someone's attempted to copy one from memory and it wasn't quite right. Don't look at me like that.
He picks it up. He's got it by one of the weird legs.
When you grab it, it's like a cicada shell. It's just beginning to like crumble. It's all fucked up. You can just see though, this isn't like it's shed its shell and just left it there. This thing was mauled and eaten and the body's just suffered through the weather to get all fucked up and deteriorated. Why are you looking at me like that?
Don't worry about it.
So it got all its innards eaten.
It's been hollowed out.
It's just a shell.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
I've done it. I finally found the next thing that makes you all grossed out. You continue,
Yeah.
and soon enough, the thatched roofs and canvas tents of a modest village begin to appear. Your previous ideas of what a village should be is shunted to the back of your minds as you get closer. A village that once housed a tribe of self-imposed exiles and birthright warriors now paints a picture as what can only be described as abstract horror. The few built cabins and huts show holes burnt into the thatched roofs where flames have taken to and reclaimed the kindling. Segments of cabin walls collapsed and left to rot and burn in the Uneran rains. What few tents are left are either collapsed and left as piles of fabrics or have been bored through with tears and holes, left to sway ever so softly in the wind. And through all of this, not a single sound can be heard. No animals, no voices, not even the murmurs of pain. This place is truly dead and empty. From where you guys are standing now, to paint a bit of a picture, you can basically see what is a town square, where it's like kind of open in this one section, and I say town square, it's like from where you guys are on this like ridge line, there's basically like an open area where it seems to be like the town entrance, where people who are traveling through would come by. The many trees that were not felled to make way for this village are dead. They bear no leaves, no living bark. It's all black, petrified, filled with this rot. The ground is littered with fallen leaves, thatching, some ash, some soot. You're unsure at what level the actual ground begins and these piles of leaves actually start. And there's corpses of hundreds, maybe thousands of those dead locusts all over the floor of the village. And you see immediately from the clearing where it's like this like semi-official town square is, there's 2 huts immediately that are there that you guys can now access. What would you like to do? Meticulously take notes. I love it. Any thoughts?
And prayers. You're going to need them.
Oh, I've been praying the whole time. Even the Wanderer is like, oh, even this gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Zara's gonna roll her eyes behind the glasses.
He just disappears into the void. He's offended and just goes, you hear an imaginary door slam. I'll be in my office.
Baby, no, Pookie, come back.
Pookie, come back.
You can blame it all on me. Zara definitely squashes the cockroaches in that relationship.
Yeah. And it's like crispy, like. And a lot of them are like, some of them you stand on and like green bily goo comes out of them, like they're insectoid guts. And then some of them you find are the same as the first one. They are eaten out.
She'll have the White Widow out and she kind of like uses it to nudge anything out of her way that looks like it's going to be really messy if she steps in it.
Yeah, just clearing yourself a path. You
Yeah.
guys can see where Zero stepping. There's just a nice clear little track where there's no bugs.
This fit gotta stay as clean for as long as possible.
My fancy dirt. But yeah, immediately there's 2 huts there that both look busted up.
I think I'll get Zeph to have a look in one of them.
Left or right?
Let's go left.
Okay. No need to make an investigation check as you go into the left one. So by this point, you're like in the thick of the town by this point. Before I quickly go on that, does anyone else want to follow, go to the other hut? I just need to know where you guys now are going to be in reference to the map.
While this is all happening, I would like to be doing 2 things.
Yes.
One of those is preparing a series of torches around wherever we go. So just find a stick on the ground, an insect leg husk, stab it in, light it on fire with dog, and keep moving forward.
Kind of like making a trail, like a light trail.
Kind of. However, wherever they decide to stop, which I assume is near those two
Huts.
huts, he begins to make a perimeter.
You can do that. That's fine. I'll say you can basically make it in like a long arching fucking line between the forest and the huts, or unless you want it to be like a circle or something.
Essentially, just while things are happening, he's going around and staking torches around.
We're gonna. I am gonna put that up to a dexterity check. So just roll dexterity, D20 dexterity, add your proficiency bonus. What about you guys?
You can't.
You've walked up to a hut.
Zeph's gone into the hut on the left.
Into one of the huts. I guess I'll follow, but before breaking off, I don't know what you're going to do. Hugle's going to walk up and grab your hand. Stay safe. And protection from good and evil.
Stop that this instant.
So for 10 minutes, as long as I'm concentrating, you've got that, which basically gives disadvantage on anything attacking you that is aberration, celestial, elemental, fae, fiends, or undead.
Alrighty, good to know.
Petunia was going to hang pretty close to you anyway, so she's following you in.
Okay. Zero, what are you doing?
I'll go into the other hut.
You're going to the other one? Okay, so we'll go with Zefaris first. What did you roll on your dexterity?
10.
Okay, so I'm going to say you can encapsulate the left or the right hut, but you're not going to complete the circle, I think, in a quick enough fashion.
Walking in as well, she is going to cast a spell as well. And she walks by and it sort of starts as like a prayer, and as she's going, she wears the matching ring on her right hand, it's on her left hand, and she's walking on your left, and so the hands with both the rings sort of brush each other, and she's casting Warding Bond.
There you go. Is that the one that we did through the ring?
Yep.
Yep, there you go. So, you don't even notice.
No, I have no idea what's going on.
Cop that, motherfucker. Okay. The hut you walk into is Zefaris. You see a half-burnt, half-crushed corpse of a half-orc man. He had been crushed to death by one of the roof beams that had collapsed and taken him out basically from the waist down. So he was completely pinned. Yeah. Holding onto a small blanket, seemingly that of a child. However, there are footsteps running out the door. So it seems that in light of his falling, he did manage to get someone out. But alas, he was stuck there and remained. Nothing of value seems to be in there, but you also get the sense that it's probably due to the fact that they're a very favor-based like union of people. It's not about money, it's about who can do what for the village that helps them thrive.
Yeah.
The other hut that you go into, Zero, you see two skeletons of humanoids, bilateral symmetry, arms, skull, a bit larger, probably Goliaths, not maybe orc, because orcs generally have tusks, so they're probably either a really big human or Goliath, maybe Fearbog, holding each other, and their muscle and skin picked cleanly off the bone. Their bones are white.
She'll kind of just use the end of the widow to just disturb the skeletons. They'll just give them a poke, see if they crumble or...
Oh yeah, they fall apart. They're in this embrace, and the second you add any resistance, what bit of dried cartilage was left in between the joints just literally fades away to dust.
Oops.
No, it's fine. You didn't really mean any ill harm. It was more investigatory. If they want to come back from the dead for that, tell them to get fucked.
So I find that oddly comforting. She continues looking around.
What you notice in this is there's a lot of small crates in this hut specifically. It is a bigger building, so it seems like maybe this with the amount of crates and blankets and wraps in there, maybe they were it was the supply hut or something. whatever food or rations that you find in there, if the crates aren't busted open and picked clean, what you are able to jimmy open with like a dagger or even your saber, like you just quickly use the blade to pull some of the nails up. The nails are rusted and patina. They just crack under the pressure. Like they literally break under the pressure.
Yeah.
Like the rot seems to expand beyond material or immaterial. It just fucking eats everything. And all the food in there is like, You've had 3 kids and a husband who, for lack of a better term, went a bit deranged by the end of it. You've seen food get left out and go moldy, and it's not like what this is in here. It's deteriorating with this moldy decay like you have never seen before. Like to the point where it's like, if you didn't know any better, like based on the fact that you can see it not moving, it almost looked like a fucking organism.
She like will like cough and like pull her like
the duster mask, yeah.
And she like takes a step back and she goes, oh, oh. Did you find anything? All I found was shit.
And you guys all hear that out in the paddock.
And Zeph will call back and just a dead body. No shit in here.
Oh!
Standing like at the doorway, so sort of half looking out further and into the building, eyes of the grave. Any undead within 60 feet?
Within 60 feet? No. I'm going to say just with Eyes of the Grave alone, though, because it's sort of like what your whole subclass is built upon, you do just get that. You just get this overwhelming sense of sadness. Like this, like it's fucking, like it's breaking your back. But while you guys are kind of reconvening out into the middle of these 2 huts, can I get everyone to make perception checks, please? If you so choose. If you want to avoid it, you can. You want to beat a DC 21.
Oh, definitely not going to happen.
Don't you fucking do that.
Got an 18.
Oh, nah. Only 12.
Yep.
It was 9.
Oh, God.
Because I'm technically not in the forest anymore, am I?
No, I'd still give it to you. You're in a village in the middle of the woods.
Then it's a 15.
In total?
Yeah.
Okay. What did you get, Mama?
You guys alright?
We're disengaging.
I also got a 9.
Okay. I think everyone's kind of just berated with the with that deafening like silence. But even beyond that, with how low everyone rolled, you hear the pattering of footsteps. Faintly in the distance. Petunia! Petunia! As he yells out. The voice of Oak echoes slightly over the still silence. You're unmarked, you can't react. You just hear through the roof.
Fuck! I shoot him!
The boots crunching the dead leaves and the locust corpses as
Was he literally just following us that whole time?
fumbled through the woods. You gotta remember, he is a zealot, but he's also been around for a fucking while, man. He does know the woods pretty well, all things considered. But he basically, like, it's a funny shot where you see the camera and,
This isn't the fight I was expecting, but...
He scoops up a dead bug and he's ready to huck it.
Just like...
He's just waiting for the go-ahead from Petunia.
But he, like, very comically for this moment goes... like, fumbles through some, like, fucked up ferns. One of them just goes... He pushes it out of the way.
Even Mother Nature slaps you.
The matron of the wild's just like, cop this. And he goes... fucking out of breath. This guy's been tracking you guys for ages.
Are you fucking serious, old man?
Petunia. Please. Come home. This isn't where you belong.
I am not going to apologise to you, and I think the 9 hells would freeze over and flowered before you apologise to me, so I think we're done here.
If you stay here and put all your eggs in the basket of these heathens, you'll wind up dead.
Maybe,
That's a promise.
but at least I've done something to try and help this village.
And he like grunts, and then a bit of the wind picks up around him and just goes, no! And like thaumaturgically shouts no, and he rushes up. And what you guys all see is he attempts to grab your
I
wrist.
cast calm emotions.
You can try. Is there a safe for that?
Let me have a look.
I believe there is a safe for calm
There is, I'm pretty
emotions.
sure. Hold on. It's a charisma saving throw.
Ooh, he's wise, but he's not charismatic. Let's see how we go.
I'll fucking bet.
Oh, he's proficient in that throw.
Why?
What's the save?
17.
That's 25.
What the f? Okay,
You got a nat 20.
that's fair.
The dice tell the story. But he, you like, what's it look like? As you got, like, do you just throw it, or do you whisper? Is there like somatic components to it?
There's verbal and somatic.
So what's it look like as you go to cast it?
It's like, "Da, calm down."
And does it like green magic leaves your hands?
No, I
Do you
reckon this
think?
magic would be invisible.
Fair enough. It's in your voice, and he just gets
It's
to
like,
calm down.
there's the
calm
double.
down.
Yeah.
And he like waves through it, and he
As he charges up, Hugle steps between the two of them.
just goes, and he like gets in front, and because he's like about your height, and you're like quite tall for a halfling, but like he's burly, like got that old man kind of burly to him. And he looks you dead in the eyes, and like you just see this fucking anger in his eyes, but he looks past you to Petunia, and he goes, "We need to leave. Please do not make me ask again."
Do I feel like he knows more about what's going on here than he's been letting on?
Make an insight check. He's not rolling to deceive. Let's just see what happens.
20.
No. At this point, you know what you see? You just see a father that's come to the realization that maybe he's made a mistake and he's trying to fix it the only way he knows how.
No.
Looks to you. This does that. This cunty Denry starts just poking you. He's like, "Everything was fine until you showed up again. Rearing your head from the shade.
Thank you.
I could turn my cheek to those barbarians from the woods, letting them deface Pot's Hollow with their camp."
Oh, for fuck's sake.
And he goes, "But this!" And again, thaumaturgy again, because he can just blow it out. He can't help it. It's like a subconscious thing that he does.
God, I wish I had silence as a spell right now.
He goes,
Right.
he like by this point he like kind of like grabs the front of your shirt a bit, and he just goes, "Make no mistake, Swale Bloom. I respect your Maranyuda. I do. But that does not mean I have to respect or even fucking like you by extension. Look at all you've wrought, all the pain that extended from you and your ill-gotten faith and your ill-gotten ilk. Right? I will not lose another child in my family, especially not my only daughter, to you and your foul luck. Now step aside." As he steps back, and you see like he steps back like about 15 feet, and he's got some magic in him, and he starts like curling up. "Now step aside, you loudmouth, death-dealing, good-for-nothing, snot-nosed little..." From literally a thunderous crash sounds from the sky as a blackened mass of gore ichor with scales and two large wings dives from the treetops. A sickening crack is what you can only hope is tree branches reverberates in your ears as this black mass reconstitutes as two mighty wings flap and send powerful gusts past you all as it ascends into the sky. Not many, if any of you have ever had the pleasure to see a dragon in real life, but this is probably the closest encounter a regular mortal would ever get. And the air is filled with the rushing winds and the shrieking of Oak as he screams, "Help me!" The black shadow, the aerial death, sails further away, and from within its claws, Oak Branch is taken along. At maybe 1,000 feet or so away, towards the mountainous area outside the forest, it lets go. And that's all for tonight's episode of Tomes and Tales, and we'll see you guys next week.
I'm actually so glad I didn't interject because I was going to sneak up behind him and I rolled a 19, which is a 28.
There was no chance.
I was going to
I was about to
sneak up
banish him.
behind him, literally.
Actually,
in the way
you know
again.
what? That's great. We'll quickly take this on at the end. As he's doing this tirade, you just go and fade into the shadows, and you are but a fucking bee's dick away from getting taken up in the claws as this dragon comes down and
My
snatches
pants
him.
are now brown.
But that's all for this episode, and we'll follow up in the next. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.